Okay, so we've succeeded in making objects of different colors. We can also modify the way that those colors show up. So for example, let's look at this table again. One of the things we can do, if we wanted it to be green, but not just a solid green, is we could go back in, and on the table is selected. As you can see, the plane is the object that's selected. I'm going to go into my shading button. Now, up until now, we've been using the material part to change it. We can also add the texture button. So if I switch from the material button to the texture button, and I can add new, okay, and now I've got a new texture here. Yours will say texture 001. The texture type gives me some basic forms that I can use for the texture. So for example, wood produces this kind of like grainy pattern, whereas clouds produces more of a fluffy pattern. Marble gives me more of like a marbly pattern. Noise is kind of a chaotic pattern. Okay. So if I go back in here, I see the preview of what that noise is resulting in. Now this is a little bit misleading. It's always going to use the ball to show you the way that that texture works. We're not working with the ball, we're working with the tabletop. Okay. But in fact, this is good. You can change the preview. Okay. So now, since we're not doing it on a ball, we're doing it on a flat object. We should have the preview be for a flat plane. Okay. And now if I render it, we'll see that I've added some texture to that table. Okay. If I wanted to go and change the color of the texture, you can do that all the way over in this Map To tab. And now we'll see that the red, green, and blues here can be changed too. Okay, so what I'm changing when I change this is the dotty pattern. And what I'm changing when I change this is the solid pattern. Okay, so now I've created black spots, and if I render it, it gives me these black spots. Again, this is what noise looks like. I can go, and if I go into the texture, I can change the texture type to clouds. And now if I render it, we'll see I've got this cloud look. Again, the black could be changed to any other color that we want. Some other effects, I can change it to that wood that I was showing you. Okay. And I could render it with these wood grains. Also within the texture type are other ways to fine-tune even the texture that you have. So for example, let's go back to noise. Or let's go to clouds. Okay. Now as I increase the noise size, this is the bigness of like the think of them as the cotton balls. So if I make the noise size really small, it'll almost look like it did for noise. Okay. And as I make this bigger and bigger, I'm increasing the kind of the clumpings of the noise. Okay, so in this case it's relatively big, and if I go back and make the noise small, in this case the clumpings are really small. The same thing can be done with wood. So for example, if I go here and I change the texture type to wood, and then I increase the noise size, or in this case, I guess wood is not a texture that can be changed. Okay, so here it'll make rings. Here are saw blades. So with each texture, there's just a lot of different things you can do with it. Oh, here it is, band noise. Okay, so if I band noise and then I increase the noise size, it changes from a very specific lines to, if I increase the noise size, the lines get less and less distinct. Okay, so now when I render it, I got these wavy kind of lines. So really there's a lot you can do with textures. The first thing we looked at is changing the color, and the second thing we looked at is changing the type. Okay. So let's stop for there.